Hi guys, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for Monday the 7th of June going through until Sunday the 13th of June 2021. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today as always. I'm going to give you a rundown of what is going on this week and what to watch out for. We've got a big thing happening this week. We have a solar eclipse, which is also a new moon in Gemini happening on the 10th of June 2021. Eclipses are really kind of a big deal in astrology because one, the energy is super intense, and also you feel the effects for about 6 months after the actual event. So I'm going to give you an idea of what that's all about. Oh, you can see I'm in my new place here. I've got some of my stuff out, my cupboards in the back. I'm still pretty much in boxes though, so there may still be an echo. Bear with me, it's a work in progress. So I'm going to give you a rundown of what's going on, starting with Monday the 7th of June. We've got the moon in Taurus forming a conjunction with Uranus in Taurus. So the moon is what gives you a sense of ease and comfort. It's kind of what comes naturally to you. And Taurus is the second sign of the zodiac. It's a fixed sign, so it's all about stability and structure. And it's in the element of earth. So it has to do with taking charge of your practical circumstances, getting creative and artistic, looking at your security, your home, your career, your income, all of that kind of stuff. And a conjunction is when two planets sit on top of one another. So Uranus is kind of the antithesis to the Taurus moon, because Uranus is the planet of miraculous change and major upheaval and blow-ups. I often compare it to the tower in the tarot, because it really makes way for change and it allows you to build new structures in your life. But Uranus is in Taurus as well. So there may be some major upheavals happening on a practical level on Monday, but because of the Taurus moon, you're able to navigate those more easily than you usually would. We also have a square between the Taurus moon and Saturn in Aquarius. Saturn is like the astrological head teacher. There's something in astrology that's called Saturn return. Saturn is an outer planet, so it takes a long time to move through the chart. It takes 28 to 29 and a half years to go full circle, so to return to the position it was in where it was when you were born. And a lot of people kind of know about their Saturn return and kind of dread it because it can feel a little bit dicey. It's quite harsh, it's quite tough and demanding. It is kind of like, it's got this head teacher kind of feel to it. It comes along and it's like, let's have a look at what you're doing with your life and let's have a look at what you're supposed to be doing. And if you're off track, it can really feel quite challenging at times. It's in Aquarius, so the rules, humanity, society, other people's opinions, communication, the status quo, what is seen as valuable and what's not seen as valuable, that may all seem very important. But also we have the communication planet in retrograde at the moment. So communication is somewhat stifled anyway and under pressure already with the personal planet Mercury being in retrograde. So with Saturn in Aquarius, it's interesting because you may get the wrong end of the stick, or what seems to be right isn't right later on, and it's quite changeable and it causes quite a lot of friction. So be aware of that. And finally, the Taurus moon also forms a sextile with Neptune in Pisces. As far as I'm concerned, that's really the saving grace of the day, because Neptune is an outer planet, the water planet of intuition and dreams. By the way, just an aside quickly, I do these videos on a Sunday, and I've just moved and I live next to a church, and the bells on Sunday go off all the time. Like, well, it is 1 o'clock, so they will go off all the time at 1 o'clock. But they've been going off all morning. So if it really bothers you guys, let me know in the comments and I'll have to change the day I actually make these videos. Because if you don't mind, let me know as well and we'll adapt it as we go. So yeah. So Neptune is the water planet of intuition and dreams. It actually rules the sign Pisces, so it's very happy in that sign. And that allows you to kind of navigate your circumstances based on your gut feeling. So it's important that you listen to that and that you continue to go with that kind of theme. It was really strong last week that I mentioned that it's kind of really important to check in with yourself and to ask yourself, does this feel right? Does it make sense to me? And that's kind of more important than logic and reason to a certain extent, because we have Mercury retrograde and Saturn in Aquarius. Whereas Neptune in Pisces gives you this natural ability to move through things based on your feelings. And also the Taurus moon, as far as I see it, isn't all to do with logic. It's much more about taking charge of things. So you can kind of sidestep the whole intellectual question of, have I got this right? Haven't I got it right? By listening to your feelings and then acting on things which sit right with you and which even to a certain degree you've done in the past. So altogether, on Monday, the 7th of June, you may get some unexpected news, particularly about your income or your career on Monday, the 7th. Mercury is still in retrograde, so double check any information, especially if you're going to take action based on that info, before taking some sort of leap of faith or acting on a whim. It's important that you make sure everything is in order as far as you can check. So openings that seem promising may close down again later in the day, and things that seem totally closed and unavailable to you may open up. So keep an open mind throughout Monday and try not to take someone's response, like a yes or no, as the final, most definitive answer to any situation. You may be able to find a different way, a different option, or the yes may become a no later on in the day. So try and keep an open mind and don't take things as completely set in stone. They're very changeable on Monday. So use your intuition as your own kind of inner internal fact-checking system, as your own compass to navigate the situation. I feel that's the best way forward on Monday. On Tuesday, the 8th of June, we've got the moon still in Taurus, so still in the second sign of the zodiac, fixed sign, element of earth. So really grounded, focused on real life things that you can touch and feel and that have a practical impact on your life. And now it forms a trine with Pluto in Capricorn, more earth, okay? But Pluto is the planet of transformation and change, death and rebirth. So it's really both Uranus on Monday and Pluto on Tuesday here. They create major space for things to change in a big, big way. And Capricorn is the sign of the worker. It's very black and white. It's ruled by Saturn. Tough. Structure. Rules. And it says if you work towards something, you can achieve it. Work hard. Work really, really hard. And it doesn't matter if you enjoy what you're doing, just work hard. Okay. So with Pluto in Capricorn, you may get some weird outcomes and unexpected outcomes to things that seem pretty predictable usually. But with the Taurus moon and the Pluto trine, your efforts may have an unexpected result. It sextiles Neptune in Pisces, so still the inner compass is on point. And then we have Mars in Cancer. Mars is the personal planet of drive and ambition, desire, masculinity. And in Cancer, it's in the cardinal sign that has to do with home life and your family and feelings and your loved ones. And it's really like, okay, how can I get ambitious about making everyone happy in my family? And you're not really responsible for, nor are you in control of other people's feelings. So Mars in Cancer often kind of sets you up for frustration because it gives you the illusion of control where there really is none. So just make sure that you let other people be and that you give them a chance to feel their own feelings and that you don't try and feel responsible for everyone else and their experience of life. Okay, I'm just sucking on a sweet because I've got a frog in my throat, so excuse me. Later on Tuesday the 8th, we've got the moon going into Gemini at 8:47 p.m. and that's based on Europe time, so just be aware of the time difference. The moon in Gemini is really fun-loving. It's also kind of no-nonsense. It likes to get information clearly, and it likes to express itself without a lot of fluff and indirectness and like hedging your bets kind of stuff. It's pretty direct. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, remember? So this is like an odd energy because you're going to feel quite expressive and like you just want things to be cut and dry and to go for it. But with communication being under pressure, it may feel like you're saying things which aren't as you intended. The Gemini moon then also squares Jupiter in Pisces. Jupiter is the lucky planet, again in the water sign of Pisces, the last sign of the zodiac, which is very much about the veil between this world and the next world. So good luck can kind of be plucked out of the atmosphere in a sense by listening to your intuition. So again, for the first 2 weeks, for the first 2 days of the week rather, good luck comes from listening to your own meaning-making process and really being honoring that and saying, you know, I have an opinion too, and you guys may feel very strongly about this, but I have to be true to myself and I have to listen to what I'm thinking and feeling. Sorry. So Tuesday, practical upheavals may continue. Unexpected bills or problems that need to be taken care of may arise quite suddenly. It may seem inconvenient and frustrating, but just try and remember that it's not only you who kind of faces difficulties and has to kind of jump a little bit and to take care of things. So maintain a positive perspective. Don't go into frustration or why me, I'm the only one kind of facing these difficulties. Don't go into that mode because really you aren't the only one. Like let's say you get a big water bill. That would be a negative. You're not the only person who's ever had that come through the door. And try not to isolate yourself because that can lead to self-pity and can really lead to you feeling like you're the only one who's ever been hard done by. And then that can become a problem in itself. So the best news is going to come via eureka moments. Brilliant ideas that suddenly occur to you throughout the day. So take note of those and make sure you do something with those. They're really going to benefit you. And that's interesting because it's an idea, right? So that's ruled by Mercury and swords in the tarot, the element of air. The big gift of Mercury retrograde is that we see things differently. And even though regular communication may feel stifled and difficult and things aren't exactly the way they seem, it does give us an opportunity to think about things differently and to see them with fresh eyes. So it's a really good thing in that way. On Wednesday, the 9th of June, yikes, I've got, again, an aside, I'm sorry, but I had my eyes lasered like years ago and my vision is really gone again, so I'm going to need glasses. That's, yeah. So, I'm reading this off my laptop. I wrote this on my laptop earlier and it's not that far from me. It's like an arm's length and a half away. I can barely see it. All right. Wednesday, the 9th of June, we've got the Gemini moon forming a sextile with Chiron in Aries. A sextile is a harmonious aspect pattern, so the two kind of work together quite nicely. They're not at odds with one another. Gemini moon, expressive, communicative, looking at the future. What can we do? In the here and now. Chiron in Aries is the wounded healer, and it kind of places the responsibility on you. And it says, if you want to be healed, you've got to heal yourself. It's not particularly sympathetic as far as I'm concerned, but it works quite nicely with the Gemini moon. Because if I want to do something, I can do it. There's actually a doorway that opens up for me so that I can feel better, that I can have a good time, that I can be in the present moment and feel fulfilled and to do the things that I want to. That also trines Saturn in Aquarius. So they're together now. A trine is positive again. And Saturn in Aquarius, the rules, humanity, is going to feel much friendlier than it did before. So on Wednesday, chatting and socializing, it's going to feel very affirming and very positive. You'll kind of get a warm glow from other people laughing at your jokes and giving you their approval. So that's always nice. I mean, I think all of us respond to that to a certain degree, but try not to take that too far and go and take it to the extreme. By abandoning your own values and your own beliefs just to fit into a group of people or to get their approval or to get a round of applause, whatever it may be. Be cautious about the things that you agree to. And if it's something serious, like a long-term commitment, then make sure that what you're actually saying, yeah, that's great, funny, then make sure you actually mean that. Because it could become a problem later on if you're just kind of faking it and if you're just, you know, kind of making it seem like you're on board, but you really aren't. So it's saving yourself a problem that could become a major issue later on. Thursday, the 10th of June, the big day, we've got the eclipse. So we've got a solar eclipse, and this is a ring of fire eclipse, okay? It's going to, what happens is that we've got the sun and the earth, and the moon passes in between the two. And it's going to block out the sun completely, and it's going to appear like a ring of fire, like the Johnny Cash song. I think it's Johnny Cash. And you'll be able to see it in parts of Canada, not on the very east coast, but like further inland, like I think 200, 300 miles inland, the northeastern side of Canada, but not on the coast. And you'll be able to see it in parts of Russia, but I doubt I have many Russian viewers. So it doesn't matter if you can see it or not with your actual eyes. What matters is that this whole process of the new moon is interrupted. And I'll make a separate video on this. I'll go into more detail because it is a big deal. But let's see what else is happening on the day. The Gemini moon obviously conjuncts the sun in Gemini because they blend their energies together. So this sense of optimism and communication meets the sun in the same sign. The sun is your identity. Think of it as your solar plexus chakra. Like in our solar system, we have the sun and then Mercury and all the other planets. In your own system, in your own kind of solar system, you've got all the chakras. And the solar plexus, the sun, is kind of like your internal battery. It's what gives you joy and what brings you a sense of life, and like life is worth living, and the warmth you exude. And that's in Gemini too. So there's a lot of alignment between them, but we've got the communication planet also sitting on top of the sun. So the sun in Gemini conjuncts Mercury in Gemini, the sign that it rules, but it's in retrograde. So it's bad enough that Mercury appears to be going backwards because the way you have communicated seems to be at a standstill. But now we have an eclipse completely interrupting that process and really bringing it to a standstill. So existing ways of communication are likely to change, and it may feel like a very odd day, but on the plus side, it will give rise to totally new ideas. And someone said that, and again, please provide me with the quote in the comments, but someone said that there's nothing new under the sun. And that's not true, because there are new things which are being invented all the time, which we haven't seen just yet. And this is the kind of thing that really is going to be responsible for major new ideas, major new inventions, major new insights, new ways of thinking, sharing your thoughts and ideas. It's really pretty significant. And sometimes things do have to come to a dead halt before you can start again in a different direction. The Gemini moon also squares Neptune in Pisces. So do I think and use logic, or do I continue to listen to my feelings? Please do continue to listen to your feelings. It's going to support you. Quincunx is Pluto in Capricorn. So watch out for the things that you say just off the cuff, that just feel right to you and you want to say them. They may come across in a way that you hadn't intended. And altogether, it's not just a retrograde, it's a complete stop where communication has the potential to alter once and for all, really on a cosmic level. Like it's a real karmic shift to the way we interact with one another. And I really think that it can kind of signal a new era in the way we interact as people and in the way we see the world. There may be inventions which change our everyday life. So the way we interact and speak to one another for the next 6 months and beyond. Conversations may be more intuitive and less harsh in future, which is a good thing. I really do think that there will be major new developments in science, medicine, and technology over the next 6 months. But there's also more room for miscommunication, like assuming that you understand someone, but taking it on kind of faith and not really checking in with the other person whether that's actually true. you know, like the intuition taken to an extreme. It's like, I feel this to be true, therefore it must be. So that's the thing I feel we need to watch out for. And also with this complete halt of communication, I really think that secrets are going to be revealed even more easily in future. So it's important to be transparent. And if you have skeletons, you know, banging around the closet, to deal with those now rather than to let them deal with you later on. And also because it's quite straightforward, I've put here, which is pretty direct, but I think it's going to be a call to kind of cut the crap a little bit, to stop being so hedgy and indirect, and to say things that you don't really mean, and to just kind of hope that the other person will get your point, because you don't want to be too clear. I don't think there's a lot of room for that kind of behavior, and not a lot of tolerance for it. So clarity is going to be something that's valued, and being transparent and clear is something that's going to work in your favor. Friday the 11th of June, we've got the moon going into Cancer at 9:23 in the morning. The moon in Cancer is again focused on home life, on spirituality, on love, on taking care of other people, using your own energy for the sake of other people. So making the home a beautiful, comfortable space where people can relax and feel at ease. The moon rules Cancer, so it's very happy there. And it's kind of like it's able to take a break and just to relax and to just feel, oh, I'm home. So there's a sense of, you know, I can take a chill pill for a second. I can regroup. I can recharge my batteries. I can take care of the people I love, but I can also take care of myself. The Cancer moon then trines Jupiter in Pisces, which is fab, because Jupiter, the lucky planet in Pisces, means that by connecting with the intuition and the higher realms, you're going to get good luck. And the Cancer moon really allows you to tap into the intuition and to really harness all of that good fortune. It also conjuncts Venus in Cancer, the planet of love, beauty, creativity, Aphrodite, Venus, divine love, universal love, this principle of giving birth to new ideas, of abundance, of beauty, of things really being the way you want them to be, like the good life. Mars enters Leo, and that's also a very happy moment, because Mars, the red planet of drive and drive and ambition, in the fire sign Leo, works really nicely together. Leo does very well in positions of leadership and being in the spotlight and entertaining other people and really taking charge of situations. And Mars likes to be in positions like that because it gives it freedom to kind of use its muscle, you know, and to say, oh, this is my power, I get to use it. Interesting with the moon in Cancer dynamic, which is like, let me be home and make everything nice. And then Mars in Leo is like, let's compete and let's go running. So you focus more on the home and on yourself on Friday the 11th. If you feel kind of run down or the events of the week have been a little bit much, it's a good day to just kind of take a bubble bath or to get out some, what's it called, potpourri? Aromatherapy, to make yourself feel comfortable and at ease, to go have a massage, that kind of stuff. What feels good is going to become paramount to you. Like, I have to feel good, I want to feel good, I want to feel better. So that's all right, obviously, to recharge your batteries. But again, don't take it to the nth degree and try not to slide into escapism where it's like, I don't want to hear or look at or engage with anything that is less than loving and beautiful, and I'd rather just escape into some other fantasy world. And also try not to slide into hedonism, where you're using things to just make yourself feel pleasure all the time, because it doesn't work. And then you have to come out of it and deal with the fallout of it. So love, romance, intimacy, sex, all of those things are going to feel much more important too. And on the flip side, hurt feelings will sting more than they usually do. Good luck continues to come from going within, So dust off your meditation practice and get back into it if it's something that's fallen by the wayside, if you've kind of let it go for a while, which is normal, by the way. Please don't beat yourself up if you used to meditate and now you don't. That's normal, you know, like a lot of people go to the gym every day and then they don't go for weeks. It's just, you're not a machine, you're not a robot. So if it's something that you used to do and it made you feel good, Friday the 11th is a really good day to pick that back up and to rediscover those positive feelings. Oh, and sibling rivalries and petty conflicts and competition may become an issue. So that's the moon in Cancer and the Mars in Leo dynamic. If you're trying to take care of everyone in the home, and let's say you want to show your love and demonstrate that by cooking a wonderful meal, okay? And then your brother shows up and he's also cooking and he's better than you, and it's like, well, I wanted to cook a nice meal for the family, and then you get into it with your brother. It's kind of missing the point, because then you're not taking care of the family, you're just arguing with your brother. Okay, Saturday the 12th of June, and I will get this set up sorted so I don't have to look past this little leg thing. Saturday the 12th of June, the Cancer moon conjunct Venus in Cancer. So this is nice. This is really, again, relaxation. And the day before, just watch out for kind of rivalries that could rob you of your peace of mind. On Saturday the 12th, you really are able to tap into this wonderful energy of love and being loved. Squares Chiron in Aries, so you're less focused on self and you're more generous. Trines Neptune in Pisces, your feelings are still there and very useful in navigating any circumstances. Sextiles Uranus in Taurus, and it quincunxes Saturn in Aquarius. So you're still able to navigate uncertain circumstances by listening to your feelings, and also now by talking to other people and kind of getting their guidance and their help and listening to the greater wisdom of people around you. Venus in Cancer squares Chiron in Aries. Yep. So we've got this lack of self-focus to where it's extreme, like, you know, you're a megalomaniac and you're just thinking about yourself and your feelings and your pleasure and your joy. You're very considerate of other people on Saturday. And it sextiles Uranus and Taurus, which is going to serve you because things may be a little bit up and down on Saturday. And by being there for other people, they'll be there for you and they'll support you through tough, difficult or unexpected times. So with Venus and the moon, love is in the air, and so is creativity on Saturday. You're able to brush aside things that seem really important, but in the grand scheme of things that really aren't that important. And you're able to take the high road on little things that are annoying rather than to get into the nitty-gritty of every detail and to argue about it. There may be a shift in the way you plan holidays as a family or individually. There may also be changes to family expenses, income, outgoings, and there may be decreases and increases in certain unexpected areas. Trying to get away with dishonesty or cutting corners, that's going to come back and bite you. So try and avoid anything like that where you're like, oh, I'll just wing it. Don't do that. And do your research instead. And when you're working with others, make sure that you listen to other people's views and opinions, but that you continue to think for yourself as well, and that you don't just accept information as being accurate without double checking it. If someone's like, oh yeah, that was built in 1893, no question, and then you actually Google it and it's like 1755, then the whole report's off. So just make sure that and that's a very simple example, but you know what I mean, okay? So just make sure you don't take everything on good faith. Yes, it's a great time to work with other people and to tap into that greater wisdom, but it doesn't mean you have to completely shut your own brain off, you know? Sunday the 13th of June, the Cancer moon opposes Pluto in Capricorn. So there's opposition now between this feeling of I'm home and I'm comfortable and I'm safe versus the outside world, which may be kind of imposing on your peace and maybe demanding your attention. It's like, oh, again, I have to go out and do all of this stuff. I was just relaxing at home. What is this? It trines Neptune in Pisces. So really, the intuition and your gut feeling is really your friend this week. Venus in Cancer trines, no, it doesn't. It sextiles Uranus in Taurus. So that's nice because you'll be able to face unexpected changes or circumstances with, is aplomb a word? With a certain philosophical disposition, and to say, this is okay. I can deal with this in a nurturing, loving way. So you're not very unlikely to just freak and to say, oh, end of the world. You're not in that kind of heightened mode. And it quincunxes Saturn in Aquarius, so you're still drawing on the wisdom of other people, and other people are actually genuinely able to support you. The moon enters Leo at 8:22 in the evening, same way that Mars is in Leo since Friday the 11th, so that's nice because there's a sense of personal power and independence. The Leo moon actually conjuncts Mars in Leo, so they sit on top of each other and really work together. And that's great. That's going to give a lot of people physical strength. Like I was born with Mars in retrograde. So I quite enjoy Mars retrograde periods where the masculine planet is a little bit weakened for some reason. Well, it makes sense because it's not as intense during those times. And I was born during that time, so I feel more comfortable with that. But this is really the opposite of a Mars retrograde. Mars in Leo is like, boom. It's like, let's go sprinting and, you know, let's do 100 meters in 12 seconds. Like, let's go for it. And it quincunxes Jupiter in Pisces. So that's interesting because fire and water don't really work that well together. So I really think that good luck and your intuition is still going to support you by listening to your feelings, but you're not going to be as interested in going within. So remember to do that. And that's why earlier in the week, kind of starting your own spiritual practice again is important, because you're going to be less inclined to pick it up on Sunday. The Sun in Gemini squares Neptune in Pisces. So again, friction between the inner and the outer worlds. And the good stuff still does come from within. So make more of an effort in that area. So there may be family news on Sunday as well, or even conflict to deal with in that area of your life. You may also realize something about yourself which changes your perspective on certain relationships. If you feel inspired to speak up or to lay down the law and to say, do you know what, this is the way it is and that's it, I'm not compromising, this is just the way it is, then that's actually a good thing. You won't regret it. It kind of clears the way for teamwork and for you to get back on the same page with other people by being super crystal clear. Remember, the eclipse also urges you to be clear and transparent, and that will allow you to come back together and to kind of work well with others and to present a united front. Working well as a unit and getting more done by being on the same side as other people, especially those nearest and dearest to you, is really going to serve you very well on Sunday. So it's a very interesting, changeable week. I hope that gives you an idea of what's coming up for you. I'm going to make a separate video on the eclipse, like I mentioned. Check that out. I'll make that either today or tomorrow, seeing what time allows. If you would like to speak to me for a personal reading, then please get in touch with me via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, there is a book your readings button. So just go to gregoryscott.com, scroll down a little bit and you'll see the button. Click on that if you want to speak to me directly. And in my personal readings, I use astrology, tarot, numerology, and my intuition, and I combine them all. The astrology chart is amazing because all I need is your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. That allows me to draw up a snapshot of the sky at the moment you were born. And the thinking behind that is as above, so below. So with your chart being the way it was at the moment you were born, the thinking is that that has a major, and in my experience, it's accurate, it has a major influence on who you are and what your destiny is and where you're going to be good and where you're going to struggle a little bit and what choices you've got to make and how you can break certain patterns and build on strengths. And that's really fabulous to kind of understand yourself. It can often really resolve decade-long patterns, and just through understanding them, it's like, oh wow, I don't need to engage with this anymore. Also, I look at the progress chart, the transits, the astrocartography, to look at what's coming up in future, what parts of the world are going to work in what ways for you. So if you've got any decisions to make, like moving, or you want to look at specific times for making particular changes in your life, or you want to understand yourself better, then please do get in touch with me for a personal reading. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and share the video online. Have a fabulous week ahead, and I'll speak to you for the eclipse video, the daily tarot readings that I do on the channel, the other little videos that I do about my little adventures out and about. Check some of those out if you're interested. And please subscribe to the channel to be part of this cool little community that we've got here on YouTube. So have a great week, and I'll speak to you next week. All the best.